The NFL Today is presented by the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. This seat is reserved for the restless.
And welcome back to the NFL Today, and now game day delivery presented by Amazon Prime takes you out live to Indianapolis for the sights and sounds of the game between the Texans and the Colts. And let's join our announcers, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins.
Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis is the place to be today as the Colts host the Houston Texans. They are the two best teams in the AFC South right now, with the Texans at 4-2, the Colts at 3-2, and the winner today owns first place as we get closer to the halfway point of this season. And with that, we say hello, everyone, and welcome to Indianapolis. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. Melanie Collins will be along shortly. These teams play each other twice a year, sometimes 3 times if they meet in the playoffs, as they did last season, so they know each other well. And the Colts know they will have their hands full today with one Deshaun Watson.
Well, when you look at the third-year quarterback, Deshaun Watson, he's having his best year of his 3-year career. When you consider completion percentage is at an all-time high, he's on pace for 36 touchdown passes, which would be an all-time high. And he already has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season, which is the same as he had the entire year last year. But what's made a difference to me and what's really jumped out to me about his play is his accuracy. His overall understanding of what they're trying to do offensively is so much further along than what it was his first couple of seasons. And a guy that's making that job easier for him is the running game and Carlos Hyde. Right now, the Texans are 5th in the NFL in rushing, and a big part of that is Carlos Hyde, as you can see, against Kansas City, 116 yards on the ground.
They will put a lot of pressure on a Colts defense, Melanie Collins, that has had a lot to deal with lately, right?
That's right, Greg. They're especially banged up in the secondary. Of course, Malik Hooker and Kenny Moore already ruled out for this game, but Pierre Desir will give it a go after being limited with a hamstring injury all week. Even better news for the Colts defense, they get back the heart and soul of their D in linebacker Darius Leonard, who's missed the last 3 games with a concussion. We spoke to him on Friday. He told us he's chomping at the bit to get back out there with his teammates, and he lived up to that nickname of the Maniac at practice on Friday. He was by far the most animated, vocal player on the field, and going up against a mobile quarterback like Deshaun Watson today, he could not be returning at a better time, Greg.
You're right, Melanie. Thank you. To the Colts offense now, which has settled into life without Andrew Luck and life with Jacoby Brissett very nicely.
They've settled in very nicely when you consider the job that Jacoby Brissett is doing. 10 touchdowns on the season, and he just looks like a much different quarterback than when we saw him in extended play back in 2017. He's much more comfortable with who he is and who he wants to be as a leader. And who makes his job more comfortable is who we're going to look at in Going Green. And that's the offensive line, considered by many the best offensive line in the NFL. And they do it a number of different ways. They do it with power, as you see Nelson and Costanzo pushing the Chiefs around. And then Nelson utilizes his speed out in space. And it's not just Nelson with athleticism, it's that entire front 5. They have played every snap of the season. They do an excellent job.
Yeah, this line getting some recognition around the league. You see the numbers there, and it spearheads the number 4 rushing attack in the NFL to the tune of 142 yards a game. The question is, how do they measure up today against one of the best defenses in the league?
Well, it starts with J.J. Watt, and the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year gave us a little smirk at meetings last night when he said, well, listen, we understand all the national attention that the offensive line of the Colts is getting, and we're ready for that challenge.
All right, Trent, time for the Home Depot Do Project Smarter.
Well, the smart thing for the Houston Texans to do is to continue to keep DeAndre Hopkins involved. Yes, Will Fuller is doing an outstanding job. Darren Fells, we mentioned the running game, but it starts with DeAndre Hopkins and pushing him up the field. And then for the Indianapolis Colts, T.Y. Hilton missed a game against the Raiders with a quad injury, only 37 yards receiving against the Chiefs. It's nice that that bye week came when it did. And here's the matchup. We've talked about it several times already in this open. The offensive line against the Colts, against the front 7 of the Houston Texans.
It's a battle for the top spot in the AFC South. The 4-2 Texans, the 3-2 Colts. We're back to Indianapolis here on CBS after this message and a word from your local station.